Dealing with toxic people is one of the most challenging aspects of human interaction. Whether in personal relationships, at work, or in everyday life, toxic individuals can drain your energy, destabilize your mental peace, and create unnecessary drama. The question then arises, how do you handle these situations in a way that doesn't cause harm to yourself, while still maintaining your integrity? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy practiced by the likes of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, offers valuable wisdom on how to navigate the challenges of toxic relationships. Stoics believed in the importance of controlling only what is within our power, focusing on virtue and wisdom, and accepting the things that are beyond our control. Applying Stoic principles to dealing with toxic people can create an inner calm and resilience, regardless of the negative behavior around us. One of the first things to remember is that toxic people often act the way they do because of their own internal struggles. They might be projecting their unhappiness, insecurity, or unresolved issues onto others. By recognizing that their behavior is more about them than it is about you, you can begin to detach emotionally from their actions. This allows you to respond rather than react, which is a core tenet of Stoicism. In practicing detachment, you realize that the way someone else behaves is not a reflection of your worth, but rather a manifestation of their own worldview. At the heart of Stoicism is a concept of the dichotomy of control. In simple terms, this is the understanding that some things are within our control and others are not. Toxic individuals may engage in behaviors that are outside of your control, such as being rude, manipulative, or disrespectful. But your response to them is always within your control. Recognizing this dichotomy is liberating. It means that while you cannot change how others act, you can change how you react. This is the first step in maintaining your peace of mind. Another critical aspect of Stoicism is a focus on self-awareness and emotional regulation. When faced with toxic behavior, it's easy to get caught up in anger or frustration. However, a Stoic approach teaches us to pause, reflect, and examine our emotions before acting. This reflection helps us to avoid knee-jerk reactions and instead choose responses that align with our values. You can ask yourself, what is the best course of action in this situation? Or how can I respond in a way that upholds my integrity? This practice of self-awareness allows you to stay grounded, even when dealing with difficult people. One of the more challenging aspects of dealing with toxic people is setting boundaries. Stoicism teaches us to protect our mental and emotional space, and part of this is recognizing when a relationship is no longer healthy. Toxic people can often try to manipulate or guilt others into tolerating their behavior, but a Stoic would recognize that it is within their power to set limits. Boundaries are not only a protective mechanism, they are also an expression of self-respect. When you set boundaries with toxic people, you are affirming that your peace of mind is not negotiable. Another powerful tool in the Stoic arsenal is perspective. Stoics believe in seeing the bigger picture and accepting that all things, good or bad, are part of life's natural flow. Toxic people may be a temporary presence in your life, but they do not define it. By shifting your perspective, you can recognize that toxic individuals are just one part of a broader tapestry of experiences, and they will pass. This shift in mindset allows you to keep the transient nature of these individuals in mind, so you don't overvalue their impact on your life. A Stoic would also remind you of the importance of practicing empathy, but not at the expense of your own well-being. While you may be tempted to engage with a toxic person and try to fix them, Stoicism teaches that the only person you can truly change is yourself. You might feel compassion for someone who is acting out of their own suffering, but you are not obligated to allow their behavior to disrupt your own peace. In some cases, the best way to show empathy is to simply remove yourself from the situation, rather than getting caught up in the drama. Furthermore, a Stoic would urge you to practice the art of indifference. This doesn't mean being cold or callous, but rather not allowing yourself to be swept up in the emotional turmoil that toxic people often bring. By remaining indifferent, you refuse to let their negativity affect your inner tranquility. This level of emotional detachment is one of the highest forms of Stoic discipline, and it can be an incredibly powerful tool when dealing with difficult people. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This is an important lesson when dealing with toxic people. Often, our minds make the situation worse than it actually is. We may ruminate over what someone said, or obsess over how they treated us. However, by using Stoic principles, we can remind ourselves that much of our suffering is self-imposed. A toxic person can only affect us if we allow them to. Recognizing this gives us the power to break free from the cycle of negativity. Another aspect of Stoicism that is helpful in dealing with toxic people is the idea of practicing gratitude. When faced with negativity, it's easy to focus on the harm someone has caused. However, the Stoics believed in taking time to appreciate what is good in our lives, regardless of external circumstances. By practicing gratitude, you can shift your focus from what is wrong to what is right. This shift in focus helps to reduce the impact of toxic people by allowing you to see beyond their behavior and appreciate the positive aspects of your life. Ultimately, a Stoic understands that no one can take away your peace of mind unless you let them. Toxic people may attempt to manipulate, belittle, or control you, but your inner tranquility is yours to protect. By applying the principles of Stoicism, such as emotional regulation, the dichotomy of control, setting boundaries, and shifting your perspective, you can create a shield of resilience against the negativity that toxic people bring. Rather than fighting fire with fire, you remain calm, centered, and unwavering in your commitment to virtue. Let's take this understanding even further. One thing that Stoics often emphasize is the importance of self-discipline. Toxic individuals can easily provoke you, especially if they know how to push your buttons. However, by practicing self-discipline, you gain the ability to regulate your responses. It's tempting to lash out, retaliate, or argue, but Stoicism teaches that the wise person responds to provocation with restraint. Every time you choose not to engage in a petty argument or react emotionally, you strengthen your sense of self-control. This sense of discipline extends to all aspects of life, including your time. Toxic people often drain your energy and attention, forcing you to spend time and emotional resources on them. Stoicism teaches us to be mindful of where we invest our energy, and toxic individuals are not worth your mental bandwidth. By being deliberate with how you spend your time, you ensure that you are focused on activities that add value to your life, such as personal growth, meaningful work, or positive relationships. A critical realization that comes with practicing Stoicism in the face of toxicity is the understanding that your happiness cannot be reliant on others' behavior. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that if others treat them better, they will be happier. Stoics, however, teach that true happiness comes from within and is rooted in virtue. The wise person does not let external circumstances control their internal state. When you stop expecting other people to change for your happiness, you free yourself from frustration and resentment. Stoicism also teaches us to embrace discomfort as part of life's natural flow. Toxic people often create uncomfortable situations, but instead of avoiding them, the Stoic embraces the opportunity for growth. In these moments of discomfort, there is room to practice patience, tolerance, and emotional regulation. Instead of fearing conflict or negativity, you can see it as an opportunity to strengthen your character. Remember, it is only by facing difficult situations head-on that you can truly test your inner resolve. Another vital lesson from Stoicism is to remember that everything is temporary. This includes toxic people. At times, it can feel like you are trapped in a toxic situation that will never end. But the Stoic reminds us that change is constant. The toxic people in your life may fade away as time goes on, and new opportunities will arise. By keeping this sense of impermanence in mind, you can resist the urge to overinvest emotionally in any given situation. The future will always bring new experiences, new people, and new chances for growth. On a more practical note, Stoics also advise us to limit our exposure to toxic people. Sometimes, we feel obligated to engage with negative individuals because of societal or familial pressure. However, Stoicism teaches us that we are not beholden to people who harm our peace of mind. If a relationship is consistently draining and harmful, it may be time to reconsider its place in your life. While Stoicism teaches patience and endurance, it also recognizes that there are times when detaching is the wisest course of action. One final piece of advice that Stoics offer is to focus on your own personal development. Toxic individuals may attempt to pull you into their drama, but if you are constantly striving to become a better version of yourself, their behavior will seem less significant. When you focus on your growth, whether in your career, relationships, or inner peace, you will naturally be less affected by the negativity of others. The wise person knows that their most important relationship is the one they have with themselves.